On the right is silent film director William Desmond Taylor. On February 1st, 1922, at around 7:50 p.m., he was shot to death in his home. No one was ever charged with his murder. The following 16 silent film celebrities were mentioned in connection with the case. Mabel Normand had attended several Hollywood social events with Taylor. On the evening of his death, she visited Taylor in his home, departing only minutes before he was shot and killed. Mary Miles Minter was strongly infatuated with Taylor and wanted to marry him, despite strong opposition from her mother, Charlotte Shelby. After his death, love letters written from Minter to Taylor were found in his home. Carl Stockdale stated that he was visiting Charlotte Shelby in her home at the time Taylor was killed. Stockdale also stated that he was the one who notified Charlotte Shelby the next morning that Taylor was dead. Douglas MacLean lived in the bungalow southeast of Taylor's home, and he had been directed by Taylor. MacLean heard the shot that killed Taylor, and MacLean's wife saw the killer depart from Taylor's home. Edna Purviance lived in the bungalow west of Taylor's home. That evening she was visiting friends and came home around midnight, so she was not home at the time Taylor was shot and killed. Antonio Moreno spoke to Taylor on the telephone less than an hour before Taylor was killed, and planned to meet with him at the studio on the next day. Taylor and Moreno were friends and had socialized together several times in the week before his death. Arthur Hoyt was a very close friend of Taylor's. They attended a play together on the Friday before Taylor was killed. Hoyt was dining with Moreno during the time Taylor was murdered. Margaret Gibson, also known as Patricia Palmer, had worked with Taylor in 1914. On her deathbed in 1964, she reportedly confessed that she had shot and killed Taylor. Mack Sennett, the top comedy producer in Hollywood, had previously had a turbulent romantic relationship with Mabel Normand. It was rumored that Sennett was jealous of Taylor's relationship with Mabel Normand. Kathlyn Williams went to the morgue, officially identified Taylor's body, and signed his death certificate. Her husband, studio manager Charles Eiton, removed documents from the murder scene. James Kirkwood had a romantic relationship with Mary Miles Minter when she was only 15, which resulted in an abortion. Some investigators thought that Kirkwood's past relationship with Minter made him a suspect in Taylor's murder. On the left is Marshall Neilan, another top Hollywood silent film director. He had previously dated Mary Miles Minter, had asked her to marry him, and was rumored to be jealous of Minter's affection for Taylor. Claire Windsor had been at a dinner party with Taylor less than a week before his death. During that dinner party, Taylor had told her that if he ever got his hands on Edward Sands, his former servant, Taylor would kill him. It was rumored that Mabel Normand was addicted to narcotics and that actor Hugh Fay, seen here dancing with Mabel, was responsible for her addiction. After Taylor's murder, there were rumors that Taylor's opposition to drug pushers had led to Taylor's death. On the right is Gareth Hughes. Correspondence and statements seem to indicate that Gareth Hughes had some connection with the Taylor murder, which led him to be questioned by investigators on the case. Neva Gerber had been engaged to Taylor for several years. The engagement was broken off years earlier, yet 3 weeks before his murder, he sent her a check for $500.